Finding relative extremas using the second derivative test. First thing we have to do, as you know, find the critical numbers. It's the first thing to find relative extremas, and then we're going to use the second derivative to test it for what type of extrema it is. So to take the derivative of this, you would need quotient rule, but I decided to actually divide both of them by x and simplify it to a nice, pretty, easier function. Then I take the derivative, and then take the second derivative. To find critical numbers, I set this derivative equal to 0, and as you can tell here, I solve it for x. I get it plus or minus, don't forget plus or minus square root of 3. Those are my two critical numbers. Those are my possibilities of relative extremas. Alright, I now plug these two values into the second derivative. We don't use the first derivative to check what type of extrema it is. All you do is plug these two into this second derivative. See right here? Plug the two values in. And if my value is positive, that means it's concave up, so it's a min. If my value is negative, it's concave down, so my extrema is a max. Alright, so what you see right here is I have a relative min at the square root of 3, a relative max at negative square root of 3. And here I have the actual coordinates, the outputs. And here in the green is what I did is I calculated the outputs of each extrema. And the way I did it here is I actually plugged in the square root of 3 to the original function. Now technically, thinking about it, I probably should have just plugged it into here because these two would get the same output. The math would be quite a bit easier. But I did this one. So when you plug it in and do all the math, you get this, negative 18 over the square root of 3. When you plug in the other one, negative square root of 3, you get negative over negative, which is a positive. Now you might wonder, how did I get this to 6 square root of 3 or negative 6 square root of 3? How? Well, what I did is I multiplied top and bottom here by the square root of 3, which becomes a 3 down here. And 18 over 3 is 6. We just tend to not want square roots in the denominator, so I got rid of the square root out of the denominator. So I just got the whole coordinate. These are some really ugly coordinates. Alright, second derivative test, beautiful. Just make sure you plug it into the second derivative and to find out what type it is. If it comes out as a 0, you have to go to first derivative test. It fails, it doesn't work. But second derivative test can a lot of times tell you what type of extreme it is rather quickly. And also, try to make your derivatives in the beginning simplified. Don't make it harder on you. Try to simplify it down before you take derivatives. It can make things a lot easier.